Yesterday, I had a chance to talk to Rashida Strober on my O'Shea Vlogcast channel. She is known as the world's first dark skin colorism activist. And she fights against this theory of darkism, which is what considers black to be ugly, dark skin to be stupid, dark skin to be unattractive. This is what fighting against darkism is. And since 1998, she's been on this particular tangent to defeat all notions of the like concerning that which bestows negative connotations upon dark-skinned black people. With an emphasis, I believe, on dark-skinned black women. Now, Rashida Strober is no stranger to social media. She is not what you would consider a YouTuber, but she uses the YouTube platform. She's on Facebook. She's had some pretty viral stories. Kendrick Lamar was one of those stories she got involved with. And anybody who is insulting dark-skinned women or dark-skinned people, she is going to be, you're going to be hearing from her. And she's using this platform to bring awareness to black men of all shades and colors and sizes that you should be dealing with dark-skinned black women. You should not only be dealing with them, but if they have an attitude or a problem or seem to be mean, you should spend additional time trying to break through such barriers to get to know them and to basically rebuild their self-esteem. This is what Rashida Strober says. And she talks about this particular class of black men, the middle class and some of the upper middle class brothers who find themselves dating mulatto skin women or lighter skin women or even other races of women. And Rashida brings great light to this aspect. And also in dealing with this, Rashida talks about the fact that her platform has changed the minds of men. It's bringing awareness to it. There are other colorism activists that are on YouTube. There are body shaming activists. There are contests in Africa. They call them Miss Curvy, where you have women who are considered to be a little bit, from what you would consider your traditional thick to be more obese. And typically the more obese women will win. And all of this is to show that they are sexy and wanted in their size. Pretty much trying to push the narrative on people that this is also beautiful. But most notably, trying to shame men into changing their preference. This is what I believe. And I believe that many of you brothers believe it too. Somebody in the chat yesterday called Rashida Strober's colorism remarks complexion reparations. I believe that was Black as Night. And what I'm finding out is that women, again, and we know this, they have no problem with their preferences. I talked about this the other day. I don't want no broke dude. I don't want no ugly dude. I don't want no short dude. I don't want no musty dude. I don't want no scrub. But see, when it comes to black men and their preferences, there's a problem. Most notably for the top 20% of black men or men in general, for most notably black men, you are going to get called out for what your preferences are. Now, it doesn't matter why you have a reason for that preference. For example, I know some guys who don't date sisters. for the reason that they were abused by their mom or whatever the case may be. They had some bad situations. And they have reasons why they don't date them, okay? Whether you agree that this is good or not, is the truth. And if a sister says she don't date black men because her uncle did something to her or her father, nobody would challenge it. And black men would not waste their time trying to shame her out of the preference. But what you're seeing right now on social media with these curvy contests and these colorism activists and certain things, and what I feel, people are trying to make you feel bad for what you like. But at the same time, it's totally okay to like what they like. For example, and I like Rashida. I believe that she's very vivacious. But Rashida Strober would like to penis police black men for dating light-skinned women, while simultaneously go on a live stream and brag about her red bent bone light-skinned boo thing. This is where we at. And I remember hearing Obsidian talk about women who were the BBWs, the ones that they felt like body shaming was what people were doing. They weren't on enough magazines. And he's talking about a study how BBWs are women that are involved in porn. And the men that they choose, that they want to do scenes with, they are never BBW men. They are always the guys who are buff and cut and in shape. That's very interesting. I want you to accept me how I am, but I want what I want. This is what we're dealing with. And what happens with black men is that many times groups like the people I see in the Miss Curvy contest and some of the colorism activists and all of that, they want to force you into liking them for how they are. But let me tell you, you cannot shame a black man's preference. All right? And I'm trying to say this as nice as I can, because if the other head don't respond, he not going to want you. There's nothing that you can tell a man if he is not into you. You cannot shame the little head to get the green light. That's all I'm going to say on that. If the man wants you or not, and that man can tell that by looking at you. The same way that a lot of women can tell by looking at men. And men don't waste no time when you telling them you're not attracted to them, you don't want them. All you got to do is tell a man that once or twice. And that man is gone. He probably not going to bother you no more. If a man know that he ain't got no chance, he ain't dealing with you no more. He ain't wasting his time talking about, well, I can do this and do that for you. Because that's not what men do for the most part, unless they're crazy. But women are always trying to change a man's preference. And the problem is that for black men in particular, we cannot supposed to say what we like. Oh, I want a light skin. I want dark skin. I want caramel skin. I want a non-black. And see, the issue that a lot of women don't understand is that black men, for the most part, are independent thinkers. If you look at anybody in the black community who got the biggest problem with the black church, it ain't black women. It's black men. A lot of black men won't touch a black church, won't touch a church. Why? Black men think for themselves. Black men don't trust the society, don't trust the law for the most part, don't trust, the system. So you cannot culturally condition brothers. It don't work with us. If a brother likes dark-skinned women, he like them. If he don't like them, he don't. There is nothing that you can say to change that. And the problem that a lot of black women have is they know that. But they try anyway. And here's the thing. They don't come at it from a position of, let me woo you with hospitality. Let me try to woo you with love. Let me try to woo you with kindness. They do it by whining and complaining. Trying to change brothers by shaming them, making them feel bad. Like, you can never get nobody to want you or like you by being pejorative and being, let me just say, an asshole. Who wants to deal with something like that? And all of this crying and whining from a lot of women, let me tell you something. That's not going to work. Brothers don't want to hear that. Just like you don't want to hear no black men whining and complaining about why he can't get no women. The same thing works both ways. If brothers don't like you, they just don't like you. Just like we understand, a lot of y'all don't like us. Oh, well, okay. And this is the problem. So again, shaming brothers into trying to prefer you will never work. So anyways, brothers, what do you think? Respond here, comment, like the video below. And as you guys know, the buffoonery remains the all-time high. Your boy is out. Peace.